Now everybody's talking about something you can hear as the world passes by. Some are talking about their wealth and their mansions. Others talk about their trouble and their strife. Now I don't know how to talk to a rich man. When compared, I'm a beggar, no doubt. But if you're talking about that old-time religion, well, I know what you're talking about. I like to talk about the time that Jesus saved me when my poor soul was sinking down inside.
Hi, folks. I am Steve Brown. Mary and I have been on the road, live streaming and recording, making DVDs for the past 8-9 years. Through those 8-9 years, we have, I feel like, learned a lot about live streaming and video, audio, and everything related to that. I, by no stretch of the imagination, claim to be an expert in any of this. But I do feel like that I have learned a lot through the years. I started when I was 15 years old, installed my first PA system, and I've been around sound systems and such like for all my life. And the last 8-9 on the road working with sound people and video people. So I'd like to pass some of that information on to you. I want, especially small churches on a budget, to be able to stream their live services on a budget. I want to show you, hopefully in the course of this video and following videos, how you can stream your services in small churches. Our church here is a very small church, very small in number. We do have a nice building, but our numbers are few. And we are able to stream the services every week and record them and archive them on the web so people can catch up if they want to look at a past service. I want to share the how-tos and wherefores and whatnot with that. I'd like for you to see a little bit about me. I grew up, Mary and I both grew up on farms out west of Little Rock, Arkansas. Behind me here is Little Rock, Arkansas. I worked at, let's see, get on the right side here. See that microwave tower there? That's the Southwestern Bell telephone building in downtown Little Rock, Arkansas. I worked in that building for a good number of years. After about 26 plus years, I retired from Southwestern Bell. And then I spent another 15, 16, almost 17 with Sprint on the Sprint campus up in Kansas City or Overland Park, Missouri. I've had a lot of experience with electrical stuff, electronics, and so on and so forth through the years. And it just all seems to fit with what I want to share with you. I want to make it as simple as I can, and I want to make it on such a level that any church, no matter what your budget is, that you might be able to live stream and record and archive your services. I won't be able to give you all the details on this video this afternoon, but I'd like to introduce myself and get acquainted with you and show you some of the things that I hope to do. I want to show you my setup here in Jackson, Georgia, where we're attending church. A little Baptist church here way out in the country, cows across the street and hay fields and so on and so forth. But we stream the services from out here in the country every week. So I want to show you the equipment I'm currently using. First of all, this little Samsung Galaxy Note 3 that I found laying in my brother-in-law's house the other day. The Verizon service has been turned off, so you can't call anybody and you can't get calls on it. But this thing still works. And the camera works, the video camera works. I got the idea, why not try to use it as a camera with my vMix live streaming setup here at the church. So I got on there and it logged into my Wi-Fi router, and I was able to download IP webcam into this little phone. And I can do wireless transmissions from the video phone back to my vMix setup. So that's kind of what I want to show you now. Let's see if I can switch over to that. This is a shot of my computer. This is my Lenovo. It has an i7 chip in it. I'm running vMix software on there. That's my free preview screen and my live screen and all the other screens there, and it monitors the audio. You can see the green light jumping. So this little old laptop is what I've been using for the last few months to broadcast and record on. It has served me well. It's not as hefty a computer as what you might really need. Over here beside the i7, I have a computer that runs the Bible program. I have a picture-in-a-picture screen that I use, and I'm able to put this right beside the preacher while he's preaching and while he's reading scriptures. I just slide that right in there, and that's been a blessing and a help to have this old laptop. This is my Mackie mixer. It's a 1604 VLZ3 mixer that we travel with on the road for a number of years. It survived the wreck that we had a couple of years ago, so I'm still able to use it. I use it to mix the audio into the video here at the church. Inside the sound room, which didn't have room for all my stuff, we have another little laptop in here that's running MC Pro. That's spelled E-M-C-E-E, Pro, MC Pro. This plays all of our music. You can put 6,000 something songs on this thing. We don't have near that, but all kinds of music. And if I turn the volume back up here, and you can see that all you have to do is tap a button,
now everybody's talking,
and you're off and running and playing whatever the music is. So Mary uses this to play her own music when she sings at the pulpit. She carries this little Asus 11-inch laptop up to the pulpit. It's running TeamViewer, which controls this computer back here in the sound room. So she can tap the letter of whatever song she wants to sing, and it starts when she wants it rather than when the sound guy's standing around with his finger in his ear. She can start her own music. So that's been a blessing. This is the old church sound system. We're still using the power amp in it to power the speakers. Over here is my Behringer headphone amplifier that I use to monitor the audio from vMix and from the sound system. The right light there is the vMix sound, and the left lights there are sound out of my mixer. Under here I have a little what is this thing? A Presonus compressor that I've hauled around all through the years. There's a distribution amp where I distribute the audio to the different things that we need. I have a couple of Sennheiser wireless mics. This is a what is this? An old Cradle Point router that I'm using for Mary's 11-inch laptop and her music. That's the only two computers that's logged into it. That router does not have internet on it, but we're able to communicate between the pulpit and back here with the sound booth with TeamViewer without having any internet, just an old router. So that's been a blessing. Forgot one other thing down here underneath my table. There's a little device here that's a capture card. You can put 4 cameras into it, or 4 tracks of sound, whatever. You can see the 2 channels on the left there is 2 of my cameras. I have a GoPro and my Sony NX Cam both plugged in there, which plugs into my laptop with a USB cable. I have over here on the wall a shelf bracket with my GoPro. I have 4 cameras total, including the one that I'm videoing with right now. I'll walk down here to the front real quick. That's our pulpit, front of the church. Show you a couple of things up front. This is my Asus router that we use to stream the live services on. What I do with that is I take my phone, I set it right up here because I found that this is the only place in church that my phone will work for decent internet activity. I plug that into the router, and lo and behold, the red light goes out, and we have Wi-Fi internet all over the church. That has really been a blessing. Up here above the baptistry, I have a little Logitech I think it's C720 left over from projects days gone by, and I'm using it for an overview to shoot out over past the preacher, and that's a nice view to switch to once in a while. It's not the greatest quality, but it's a blessing to have an extra camera. Over here underneath the speaker, I have a shelf bracket taped to the thing, and on that shelf bracket I have a little $6 thing I bought from Amazon, I guess. And that's what I put this phone that I'm using right now in. I just take that little thing and you pull it up and you snap your phone in there and let it down, and it holds your phone steady, and you aim it out across the congregation, and lo and behold, I have a wireless camera. I love it. All those years I was traveling, I always wanted a wireless camera. And now I'm holding one in my hand, and it works great, as you can see. It's not as good as my Sony NX Cam, but wow, I'm pleased with it. There's my $40 green screen that I got off of Amazon. That included tax and shipping. I thought that was a good deal. Anyhow, let's get on with talking about things that I'd like to cover with you this afternoon. I got to make this quick as possible. I don't want this video to run out into a long extended thing. So I've got some items that I believe are must-haves that you just must have in order to do live streaming video in your church. And I'd like to share those with you. Number one on that list, of course, is internet. You've got to have internet access. You just can't stream without internet. And as I showed you my ASUS router up in the corner of the church, tied into my cell phone, if that's what you got to do, then do it. Surely some members of the church have Android cell phones. That's what I'm using, is an Android that I plug into the ASUS router. And if one member don't have enough bandwidth and not willing to pay for enough bandwidth, maybe you could use a different cell phone every week and split the cost up between 4 or 5 different people streaming the service. There's got to be a way you can do it. And if you can get internet, then you can stream. You need something better than dial-up, but I don't know anybody that has dial-up nowadays. Second on my list is you have to have a streaming company of some kind to stream your video signal to them. I have been using Dacast, DACAST.com for 4 or 5 years now. They have done me well. I have enjoyed working with them. It cost me $228 a year to stream with them, and they give me more bandwidth, more internet access than any other company that I've dealt with in all these years. So I really recommend Dacast as a good streaming company that's cheap and give you a lot for your money. You can use YouTube and there's all kinds of companies that you can use to stream to. And several of them, quite a few of them are free. YouTube's free, but you got to put up with ads, and I don't appreciate some of the ads that they put on there. So I like to have a company like Dacast so it's ad-free, and I can do what I want to do with it and paste their video player on my website, and I have full control of my video without the ads that maybe YouTube and some of the other companies want to throw at you. Next, you have to have a website. If the church does not have a website, maybe you can use somebody else's. I have 2 churches that stream their services over my website, stevebrownministries.com. Our church here in Jackson, Georgia, we stream over my website because the church don't have a website. Church down in Houston, Texas, Shady Acres, they stream over my website. It's just if you need that, I can make it available to you. If you're a good old-fashioned King James old-time religion type church, you can stream over my website. Next on the list is probably one of the hardest things to accomplish in most small churches, and that is a fast computer. My computer, this laptop that I'm currently making this video on, is really not fast enough, but as you can see, it's doing the job. It's an i7 Intel processor running at 2.7 gigahertz with 8 gigs of RAM, and I've been pleased with it now for a couple of months. It's not good as my TriCaster 8000 that I used to have, but for a little laptop running vMix software, it's great. The next thing you got to have beyond a fast computer is video cameras. I've showed you my Sony. That's used to be $3,000 camera. I don't know what you can get it for nowadays. I showed you my GoPro. That's $300 or $400. I showed you the old outdated Samsung telephone, Galaxy Note 3. Does a decent picture and transmits wirelessly back here to my vMix thing, and I don't have to run no wires up to the front of the church. I love it. That's super wonderful. I have the little Logitech, a $40 camera up over the pulpit. I recommend if you're going to use a webcam, you at least step up to the Logitech C920. It's a better picture. It's full HD. It just would be better to use the best webcam that you can get. There's all kinds of possibilities for cameras. Church members may have video cameras that you could patch into an input on your computer and have a free camera with old cameras sitting on church members' shelves somewhere. There's a way to do it if you really got the want to live stream your church service. Live streaming software, as I mentioned, I'm running vMix. I discovered this a couple of months ago, and I have been extremely happy with this software. First of all, you can download it for free, and you have full access. You don't have anything that's hampered in any way. They give you the full-blown $1,200 package for free. Now, you don't have to pay the $1,200 if you want to keep it beyond the 60 days. After 60 days, you can still use 2 inputs on it for 2 cameras or 1 camera and a title or various things. You can use it for free for SD quality, standard definition. If you want to step up to HD quality, then you'll have to pay $60 for the minimum package on that. And it's not $60 per year, it's yours. You get free updates on any package you buy for a year, but it's your software and you can continue to use it. So for $60, you can't beat that for quality software. If you want to step up to a full-blown HD package, $350 with 1,000 inputs. When I say inputs, I'm talking about cameras, I'm talking about audio, I'm talking about titles, just everything you do, overlays, anything, it's an input. So 1,000, you're not limited with 1,000 inputs. You can do most anything you want to. So either free for SD quality or 60 for HD or 350 if you want kind of an unlimited system. vMix has served me well. Source of audio, you've got, in order to do a decent live stream, you've got to have quality audio. You can have the best picture in the world, but if you got sloppy audio that don't sound good, people won't listen, they won't tune in. You've got to have good audio. You got to have a microphone on the pulpit, and you got to have it fed into your computer through some means. You got to have a line input into your computer for that audio. I've always tried to separate computers and mixers with a direct box. So some kind of a little direct connect box that you can get the audio into a USB port or some kind of a capture card coming into your computer. You must have and wear headphones. That is just almost a must. If you don't monitor what goes out on your live stream and on your recording, you'll usually have a mess. And then you'll say, oh no, I'll do it and fix it next Sunday. But unless you monitor that thing, that audio gets away from you some way or somehow. It'll get away from you and be too loud, too quiet, or none at all. Nothing worse than having a video without any audio. So monitor your broadcast recording audio with headphones. The house guy should not wear headphones. But if you're broadcasting and recording, you really should wear headphones. Now those things I just covered you must have them. Those are things you just about got to have to do live streaming. I'd like to cover some things now that are like to haves. You'd like to have these things. They are not necessary. You can do without them, but they sure would be a great addition to your live streaming and broadcast and recording. An extra inexpensive laptop to run your Bible program on. I showed you that a while ago, where you can slide a box in by the preacher and have the scriptures beside the preacher, is a nice addition. A video capture card. I showed you that down here underneath, to where you can feed cameras and things into a USB 3.0 port. Capture card of quality is a nice addition. A couple of extra video cameras. You need at least 2. So you can switch off the pulpit, a wide shot, while you readjust your camera and zoom it, pan it, do whatever you want, and then switch back to it without having jerky motions and things with the camera. 2 cameras minimum. You just really ought to have 2. You can use GoPros, you can use smartphones that people have culled out. You can use good quality smartphones. You can use smartphones in a variety of ways. Webcams, Logitech, I showed you the one up over the baptistry. All kinds of ways that you can get video signals into the vMix software and have multiple cameras. You need a church website if at all possible. You don't have to have it, like I said, but it'd be so much better if you had a personalized website for your church with a live stream video player pasted right in that thing. So when people go to your website on Sunday morning, it pops up playing. Okay, microphones. You need some microphones scattered around the congregation. When I was traveling on the road, I always set up 4 and 5 and 6 microphones around the auditorium to pick up the congregational singing. There's nothing worse than having a loudmouth song leader at the pulpit, and that's all you hear for congregational singing. So I always fade the song leader down and fade the congregation up, and it makes for a much better recording and live stream in your church. In order to do that, you've got to have an audio mixer. I skipped over that. Audio mixer dedicated to controlling broadcast and recording audio. That means you take a feed out of the house mixer and you feed it into this dedicated mixer for broadcast and recording. You feed all your house mics into it, so you pick up congregational singing, and a guy and a person, your live streaming person, would monitor that mixer so you know what's going out on the broadcast. The house guy should not wear headphones. You need those microphones for the congregation. You need a lapel microphone if you have roving preachers. Preachers that won't stay at the pulpit, you need to stick a lapel on them. So that's a like-to-have thing that you could add. They come all the way from cheap to expensive. I'm talking on the Sennheiser right now. That's a nice mic. But you don't have to have the best. You can get by with cheaper stuff. I would say Radio Shack, but they're not there anymore. So surely you can get on Amazon and find some cheap mics or quality mics, whatever you can afford. The last thing I'll talk about on like-to-haves is 2 dedicated people. One person that runs the house sound and another person that runs the live streaming broadcast and the audio and keeps up with headphones on. 2 people that would do that. At our church, we don't have 2 people. So I end up doing the house sound and the recording sound and the live streaming, and I switch the cameras. So it's a pretty big task to try to switch cameras, monitor audio, and keep up with everything that's going on. Those are like-to-have items. You don't have to have them. I must end this this broadcast or this recording, this video, but I would like to say that here's some of the items that I would like to talk about and have future videos to talk about Skype calls to missionaries with video so that you can have a conversation with a preacher or a missionary across the land and patch it right into your video stream on your website. Zoom calls. There's a Zoom conference call software that's free to use, and we can talk about that. Maybe that'll be another video. Details. I'd like to produce a video like this one, giving you more details, in-depth things that I've learned about the vMix software. Transitions, titles, Bible integration with a picture in a picture. How I do that. How do you get the Bible in there where it looks really nice beside the preacher? Archiving good audio for achieving good audio for the broadcast. I'd like to talk about that. Audio, I can't emphasize that too much. A video without good audio is just terrible. I hate it. And people really won't keep on listening to your stream if you don't have good audio. Multi-window for the interpreter. I've done that. I've had the interpreter in a little box and the main preacher in another box. That's things I'd like to talk about. How to archive your services on your website. That'd be another video we could talk about. And of course, I'm using the green screen here today with this background, and I'd like to talk about in another video about using green screens for presentation in the Lord's work and things that might help you using a green screen in your ministry. With that, I will call it quits. I feel like I've probably talked about too much stuff. I want to talk about a whole lot of things, but I don't want these videos to get too long. So I feel like I need to call it quits here, and we will talk about all of these things on a future video. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate you watching this video.
Now everybody's talking about something you can hear as the world passes by. Some are talking about their wealth and their mansions. Others talk about their trouble and their strife. Now I don't know how to talk to a rich man. When compared, I'm a beggar, no doubt. But if you're talking about that old-time religion, well, I know what you're talking about. I like to talk about the time that Jesus saved me, when my poor soul was sinking down in sin. I like to talk about the times that He helped me through the sunshine, the storm, and the rain. I like to talk about the time of His coming. When I see His sweet face, there's no doubt. Now if you're talking about that old-time religion, well, I know what you're talking about.